It felt normal, but in a way, it was upsetting.
She's a female in a male-dominated sport of wrestling, but how Searra Inman has adapted to her new normal off the mat after a life-changing event brings a new definition to strength and determination. News Channel 3's Luke Edwards shows us what it means to be Searra strong.
Since freshman year of high school, Searra Inman has been defying the odds, becoming one of just a few girls to ever join the Niles Brandywine wrestling team.
I was always told that women can't do as much as men, and I wanted to show that girls can be just as tough as guys can be.
She was just such a fighter with everything that we finally one day just kind of said, hey, you know what, you're so strong with everything, why don't you just go wrestle? And maybe we can take out your frustration on some poor kid, you know.
3 years and 75 wins later, Searra was well on her way to 100 victories.
It's always been a goal since my freshman year. There have been so many challenges with wrestling, and it took me such a long time to get to where I am to want to stick with it.
Reaching the century mark on the mat would take a back seat, and Searra would begin the fight of her life.
As soon as I turned my head back towards the road, I saw the car go across. I didn't think anything of it. I thought the car was going to make it. It was just like another car crossing the road. And that was it. It was just the car. And then it was black, dark, nothing.
As a passenger on the back of a motorcycle that collided with a car, injuring 7 people, Searra the most serious. Her T7 and T8 vertebrae completely separated. Her spinal cord completely severed.
And I saw my dad sitting to my right, and I kind of just laid there looking at him, and I knew.
My wife asked if we could tell her, and she said, tell me what? And I stood up, and the nurses said, yes, you can tell her. I stood up, and as I walked towards her, in tears in my eyes, she looked at me and she said, Dad, I'm paralyzed. I said, yeah, you are, but it's gonna be okay.
Doctors said she'd be at IU Methodist in Indianapolis until January, but as she's proved many times on the mat, nothing can stop her.
And I was like, I can't do soccer anymore, and I can't wrestle my opponents, but that doesn't stop me from going out on a mat and taking a void.
Here's a girl that's broken her back, her whole life is changing, and she was thinking of the wrestling team over herself.
Just 2 weeks later, Searra would start rehab at Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital in Grand Rapids.
When someone sets a goal, she sets it higher. So you say, I'm never gonna walk again. You say it's gonna be 6 to 9 months. And they would tell her, so we're looking at about this long. And she would look at them and she would say, okay, I'll be done in at least half the time, if not more.
While rehabilitation helps patients get back to a more normal life, Searra takes it a step further. Her goal? To be back on the mat by the beginning of the season.
I wasn't gonna let something that had happened, something bad that had happened, stop me from doing what I would have done if I still had my legs.
The Bobcats opened their season with a meet at Bronson High School on December 5th, less than 6 months after the accident. With a packed gym, Searra made her return. One arm at a time, a crawl that would lead her to the center of the circle, where her hand would be raised in victory, a victory symbolizing an unthinkable milestone.
It brought tears to my eyes because last time I saw her, she was in a hospital bed, and I was just glad to see her back on the mat.
I wasn't ready to give up on something I've poured my blood, sweat, and tears into.
If you think she would settle for just one win, again, she would prove you wrong. Searra sits less than 20 wins away from 100, a career landmark that many thought would be unreachable.
Oh, it's possible. It's possible.
She's not going to quit. She's going to give it 100%, if not more. And I think I think for me as a parent, I don't care if she gets to 100 or gets to 90. To me, she won.
It's going to happen. It's going to be an amazing day. She'd be my first girl that got legit 100 wins.
What she aspires to accomplish off the mat proves there are no barriers she won't conquer.
There is potential for her to do a type of ambulation using locking leg braces and forearm crutches. But that is an athletic endeavor, and that is going to take a lot of time and work.
I am determined to walk. I am determined to keep going. I'm not going to let something stop me. And if somebody tells me I can't, yeah, I can. I can do it. I'll go do it, and I will prove you wrong, and I will say I told you so, because that's the type of person I am.
Luke Edwards, News Channel 3.
Searra's accident brought an already tight-knit community even closer, raising over $14,000 on the GoFundMe page alone. We will have more on how the community bonded together in the days to come on our website, WWMT.